Hello, everyone. This is Tempest, transgender basketball player from the Cooks Creek Audiovisual Media Society. Just wanted to explain why I'm uploading a random Chapo episode today and not my regular music and movies. I was listening to this episode, their review of the film Crash from 2004. The audio was terrible, terrible, terrible. So I tried my best to equalize it for you guys so it's actually listenable. And I just wanted to share what I had created. So that's why I'm uploading a random Chapo episode. We'll be back to regularly scheduled uploads after this. Hope you guys enjoy.
So, a lot of you don't know what racism is firsthand because racism ended in 2004.
Yes, I'm sorry. This is in jest. This is Paul Haggis's Crash, the Oscar-winning film from 2004 that, I don't know, it's about how in America we're all just sort of bottled up inside in our own identities and prejudices, and that cuts us off from one another. But if we were just able to just sort of switch perspective and come out of ourselves a little bit, we would realize that all these prejudices we harbor are wrong. And that, for instance, if you see a cop and he molests you on one day, there's a very good chance he may save your life the next day. So really, who's the real racist? I just want to say, it's a movie about, racism and prejudice. And, people will say, oh, here are four white guys come to tell you about racism and break it down and critique this movie. What right do they have? And I'll say, well, that's true, but this movie was written, produced, and pitched to an audience of overwhelmingly white people. So I feel we are actually exactly the right...
And awarded Academy Award by the whitest group of people in the history of the world, the Motion Picture Association of America.
Yeah, they might as well... The 2004 Academy Awards, it might as well have been in the Eagle's nest.
This is Crash. Oh man, what a movie this is. Is this the worst movie to ever win Best Picture, would you say?
It's got some competition, certainly just in the 21st century, like The Artist in Chicago. But the thing about those is they're just really mediocre. And you wouldn't even be bothered by them if having that little Oscar emblem next to them on the poster wasn't so irritating. But this movie is genuinely vile and offensive in a way that they aren't. So I think it might be the winner.
I mean, a lot of people forget what happened in the 90s because of 9/11, but Liar Liar did win Best Picture. But this may be worse. This is worse than Liar Liar. Liar Liar did more to confront race relations in America in a realistic way than Crash did.
Yeah, this is what Crash is. This is a movie that's let's get real, folks. Let's get real about racism and prejudice in America.
Because the real fact of it, and this is what was so baffling about everybody breaking their arm, patting themselves on the back for having watched it and been so enlightened by it, is the message is basically, well, everybody's racist, so it's okay. Right? Everyone's a racist, regardless of their race. So racism is just sort of an interpersonal problem we all have to deal with.
This movie was like a $50 million version of the t-shirt that you get at Spencer's Gifts. I'm not a racist. I hate everybody equally.
Now, you could say that this is the sort of typical white liberal guilt movie that does so well around award seasons that are about, issues and things like that. But I would say it's a liberal guilt movie but in a surprising way. It's a liberal guilt movie because what the movie's really about is that liberals feel guilty that all the racist shit they believe might actually be true.
Yes.
That's kind of the message of this movie.
Should we break down the characters in this movie?
Well, I was keeping a running tally as I was watching this movie of all the racial stereotypes, and I was just sort of making note of them as they cropped up. But the first thing I want to talk about is that the opening line of this movie is nobody touches you in LA.
That's true. No one in LA has ever fucked. They're all balso.
And it's Don Cheadle is talking to himself after he's gotten in a car accident. He was rear-ended by the first racial stereotype of the movie, a Korean woman who's a bad driver. And he says in other cities like New York, you walk places and people brush up against you, and it's real. But in LA, everyone's cut off from each other, and they crash their cars into one another because they're just desperate for connection.
It's deep stuff.
This is why New York City is not a racist city, is because, someone from a different cultural or racial background than you may molest you on the subway.
That's what I say actually on the subway when I'm manspreading and I'm telling women to smile and I don't have women on my timeline and women notice. I'm like, sometimes I think that I manspread just because no one in the city touches each other anymore. And I tell women to smile because no one smiles anymore.
So, yeah, the first stereotype that we see is the Korean woman who's a bad driver, and like I said, it opens with Don Cheadle is an LAPD cop, and he's been called to the scene of a homicide, and then but then the movie jumps back in time, jumps back like a day earlier. And it opens with there's the second racial stereotype of the movie is a fat, drunk, racist Irish guy who gets into an altercation with what he believes are, people who did 9/11 when they're trying to buy a gun.
Yeah. This was a key scene in the movie. Our hero, I think he's the hero of the movie, right? The racist, fat, drunk gun shop owner. He represents the viewer of the movie. He is the hero. He is like a Persian man that's trying to buy a gun. This guy's like, hey, Osama, I got your freaking gun right here. Hey. And then the guy's like really hot daughter is there with him.
Yes, his daughter was very hot.
And they do he does the clumsiest sexual dialogue ever where she's like, I just want bullets. And he goes, it depends. Yeah. Depends if the bullets can fit your freaking hole. I mean, your cunt.
Yeah. So, basically what the film does is it's an ensemble cast, and it's going to take you through the lives of these, disparate, seemingly unconnected people on a couple days in Los Angeles, 2 days in the Valley, if you will. And
much better movie than this, by the way. Danny Aiello's finest performance.
And the movie's going to take you from people from different backgrounds as they sort of crash into each other, if you will, and challenge, their preconceived notions about how other people are and live. And the next scene is the rapper Ludacris Bridges, and Lorenz Tate are coming out of a nice restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard. And this is the third racial stereotype we encounter, and that is sort of fake woke black guys. Like Ludacris is this spits all this half-assed revolutionary jive, but actually they are thugs and they don't tip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your stereotypes are true, people. Hey, waitresses, don't go to that table of black people.
This is the first example.
You're right about them.
This is the first example of how the movie's it's flipping your perspective. It's surprising you because it starts with the scene, and Ludacris is complaining that it took us an hour and a half to the waitress didn't even give us coffee. All the white people in there, they were getting good service, and because we're black, we're getting shit on. Blah blah blah, racism. And then the movie's like, hey, check this out. They're Ludacris is they just think we look like criminals or whatever. And then the movie is like, aha, I know what you're thinking. What if they actually are criminals?
This is a great scene. It really changed my perspective on things, because before this, I was sort of on the fence about black people. And then I learned that they don't tip. And I'm like, wow, these guys are great. They're finally willing to stand up to waitstaff.
I mean, Alex, what have you always said? What are the easiest jobs in America?
Marine, teacher, special ed teacher specifically, firefighter,
nurse,
and nurse. Yeah,
single mom.
Nurses should make minimum wage. They do nothing.
So Ludacris and Lorenz Tate complain about how they're being profiled, and then carjack Brendan Fraser and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, and then we go to their house where Sandra Bullock screams at Brendan Fraser for 10 minutes about why he didn't racially profile enough, and why she was an idiot for suppressing her racism.
Yeah, they were going to be able to do anything.
That's the thing. She said, I should have turned around, but it's you had to get your car. The car is in one position. You have to go to the car to get in it. How can you turn around?
That's they had to flank Ludacris. They had to do a classic flanking maneuver. It was going around the Maginot line.
But this is really the scene where I realized something. It's like, oh, okay. Paul Haggis thinks he's going to show how really everybody's racist, you know? But what the problem is that he has populated his film that's supposed to expose our collective problem with race exclusively with massive gaping assholes. Every character in this movie, except Michael Pena, is a complete piece of shit.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, like let's talk about the Persian guy.
Awful.
Okay, so
Wait a second. Before we get back to the Persian guy, I just want to tick off on my list here. When Sandra Bullock gets home, Sandra Bullock and Brendan Fraser get home, I ticked off 4 and 5 on the racial stereotype list. We have Michael Pena as a cholo who wears a wife beater and has lots of spider tattoos.
But he's actually a good guy, though.
Yeah, he's actually.
They don't like reverse on that.
He's the one decent character in the movie.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that he's a locksmith that exclusively works between the hours of like 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Like every time you see him, it's like the middle of the night.
It's called Sleepy's Locks, Holmes.
That's normal.
He's gonna be in the sequel to Suicide Squad. He's gonna be like, after the fire guy dies, they're gonna be like, this is our new.
This is his cousin.
Guy. This is
He could do any lock, yo. Any lock.
And then I'm sorry, Sandra Bullock fits off number 5 on our stereotype list. I'm going to censor myself and call her a very country white lady, but I don't mean that she's from a rural area. But basically, she's a bitch who hates the help.
Yeah, it was sort of implied in this movie that Brendan Fraser should become a man who goes his own way and start boiling chicken, living alone, parking his motorcycle in his living room, because this is what women act like. Like they want you to be racist in a different way because they stole your car that you paid for with your money that you are going to have to buy gas for when she divorces you and you face the tyranny of family court.
And then so Brendan Fraser plays the Los Angeles district attorney.
Yeah.
And he has an image problem because he just got carjacked by 2 black guys and like, you know, he's thinking, oh, got an election coming up, this is going to look bad for me in the black community. So he immediately starts bullshitting with his staff about, he's like, I need to get on TV being shown giving a medal to a black guy. How about that firefighter who saved those kids last month? And the aide was like, actually, he's an Iraqi. And he was like, what? He looked black. And then I swear to God, in the screenplay for this movie, his aide makes a point of pointing out that the Iraqi firefighter's name is Saddam. So that's stereotype number 6, an Iraqi named Saddam.
Who looks black, which is a really common thing.
Yeah. Sir, he also is wearing a straw hat with buck teeth.
It's just every stereotype.
Yeah. You think oatmeal too spicy also?
The Persian shopkeeper and his hot daughter, okay? Here's what I like about this character. They sort of set it up like this is the other stereotype, the stingy Arab shopkeeper. And like they're playing with your perspective on this because you're like, oh, I know this type. But then about a half an hour into the movie, it reveals that he's actually Persian. And this is where the movie really fucks with you. It's like, you know, it's flipping all these prejudices you have on your head and being like, some shopkeepers are Persian too.
Yeah, it's true. I have something that's like, I figured something out about this character. I didn't figure this out when I saw this movie for the first time when I was 14. The Persian shop owner was definitely in Savak. Like, absolutely, because later in the movie, when he thinks he is getting charged like $20 more than he should for a door, he's like, oh, I have to kill this man. Like, that's definitely a guy who is pulling fingernails on behest of the Shah. Like,
that's why he's in America.
Yeah, he's in America. He was escaping war crimes. And the movie, the real postscript to the movie is a guy from Quds Force just fucking garroting him.
I would like that because that guy is probably the biggest douche in the entire movie.
Worst fucking character.
Okay, just continuing down, we continue to meet more characters and racial stereotypes. We meet Matt Dillon, who's a sadistic, racist cop, but he has a father who has trouble peeing, so you're supposed to feel bad for him. And then he runs into, I think, 7 on my list of racial stereotypes. The loud type of sister who is a DMV employee, but she's not. She's an HMO employee, but it's just sort of the black woman who sits behind a desk or phone and frustrates your busy schedule.
Yeah, so Matt Dillon, he has a problem. His father cannot go to the bathroom without sighing, which, like, no father in history has ever done that, so we know this is a problem. But, so, he, like, after just saying every racist thing he could think of to her, he's like, look, I'm gonna peel you heart to heart. And he talks about his dad. And his dad was not racist. His dad had a janitorial company and lost everything he had because the city decided to only hire black janitors, which I don't think happened ever in anywhere. Somehow, like, his entire business was centered around, like, I don't, like, cleaning up City Hall. I don't get it. But anyway, like, that
Yeah, because you're not allowed to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
You can't clean anywhere else if you have a city contract. If you lose it, you have to end your contract.
Yeah, you have to live under the bridge and live with your son, who is a rapist cop. And he's, like, he has to, like, just mutter racial slurs under your breath while you, like, try to piss. Alex, I think you said the funniest, like, the thing that made me decide we needed to do this episode, what you said about this character.
Yeah, that it's okay to be racist if your dad has a urinary tract infection. That's the central message of this movie that I remembered. Because I watched it when I was 14, which was 9 years ago. And this was the point where I realized that adults are all retarded. Because, like, I was 14 and I figured out how to torrent movies or whatever. So I was like, oh, I remember my parents talking about this really good movie, like Crash, and it won all the Oscars and everything. So I'm going to watch a grown-up movie and be sophisticated. And I watched it, and I was like, this fucking sucks. This is horrible. And that's when I realized, like, you know, society is just messed up, and, like, everyone else is crazy except me.
Yeah, and that's
ever since then, I have had a really fucked up outlook on life.
Yeah, Alex is, you know, we've known each other before. I moved to Brooklyn to work for a Thought Catalog and BuzzFeed and Everyday Feministing at the same time. Before I hit it big, Alex, like, once got me in a DM and he told me, I root for the bad guys in movies. Like, this is the kind of guy that you're talking to right now. And it's because of this movie.
The bad guy in this movie, by the way, is Paul Haggis. So yeah, then we get to the scene that, you know, was one of the most harrowing scene in this movie, where Terrence Howard and Thady Newton are sort of like the you know, upper class kind of bougie black couple.
I just want to stop you right there. The most harrowing scene is when the racist dad can't piss.
Yeah. That's like...
Let's just get that straight. When he's sitting on the toilet and, like, the door's open because he doesn't shut the door when he's, like, pissing, and when he's sitting down pissing, and his son's just walking around and, like, listening to him piss and stuff. That's the most harrowing scene.
Okay. The second most harrowing scene, it takes place when Matt Dillon is out on patrol, you know, looking for some people to be racist to. Oh, Matt Dillon's partner is played by Ryan Philippe, who's sort of the young, fresh-eyed, you know, do-gooder cop who, like, you know, hasn't had his liberal illusions beaten out of him yet.
He still naively thinks that racism is bad.
Yeah, he's like...
He's a millennial piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a bitch. Like, the scene where the racist cop confronts him, and he's like, you'll learn how it is when you're out there in a few years. Like, sometimes you have to, like, sexually assault somebody for no reason.
Yeah, what happens is Matt Dillon catches a glimpse of, you know, Terrence Howard's SUV, like, I don't know, fails to signal, and he catches a glimpse of Thady Newton giving some roadhead to her husband on a drive home from probably a fancy restaurant or something like that. And, you know, this is like red to a bull. He's like, I cannot abide this happening on my watch.
Yeah,
he's on some Mark Furman shit.
Yeah, he's on some Mark Furman shit because he's like, my dad, an honest white man, can't even get piss out of his dick without squeezing my arm for 4 hours straight. And this fucking black guy is coming just happily while he drives. Has the world gone mad?
Not in my America.
So he pulls them over, And and then Terrence Howard is like, he's like, oh God, please don't kill me. But of course his wife decides to mouth off and give Matt Dillon an opportunity to frisk her in an incredibly inappropriate way in front of him. It's very like Bad Lieutenant or Straw Dogs. The scene is kind of about like Terrence Howard is revealed into his wife as a weakling.
He's a cuck.
He lets another man just like assault his wife basically and doesn't say shit.
That's how transgressive this movie is. It's a black guy being cucked by a white guy.
Ooh,
Very open-minded.
Holy shit.
well, this is what I'm saying.
Stereotype blown.
This movie takes your stereotypes and prejudices and they flip them on. It's just like they show you a stereotype or a prejudice, only to subvert them later. So they're like, that stingy Arab shopkeeper, he's actually Persian.
Somewhere out there's like a black nationalist alt-right where they just get mad about being cucked by white guys. And it was solely inspired by this movie.
Isn't that Hotep? Isn't like this movie is where
yeah.
Hotep came from?
Dude, Ludacris is kind of a Hotep.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
Ludacris is very Hotep-y, and I want to talk about the scenes, the dialogue between Lorenz Tate and Ludacris when they're like fleeing in the stolen car, and Ludacris is being like trying to tell him that rap music is like oppressing black people or something.
The FBI
It has too many N-words in it.
bad so that it was no longer revolutionary.
Yeah, all Ludacris's dialogue was like written by Steven Crowder. Like this is what Steven Crowder thinks black people just talk about all the time.
Then the other guy starts talking about how actually country music is as good or better than rap music, which is something that all black people talk about all the time.
Yeah. This is like the only thing black. That's how you know that Terrence Howard and his wife, like that they were outside of the rest of black society, because every other black person just like, there's one friend who thinks that they invented rap music to oppress black people, and then one friend who's like, actually, it's as good as country, and those are the only things that black people talk about.
I just want to talk about in that scene, they're like, this very authentic dialogue of how two black people converse with each other. While they're yelling and jiving with one another, they run over a Korean man with their car.
Can we talk about the realistic dialogue for a second? Because you know what that dialogue reminded me of? It reminded me of when there's like a shitty pile-on of people on Twitter, and like they're trying to roast some guy's shoe or something, and it's all
Hey, yo, fam. Shoes look like fam, yo. Shoes look like Ronald McDonald AF, though.
That's exactly what it was. They got those people to write all of Ludacris's lines in this movie. But back to the Chinese guy.
A Korean guy. See, we're being
Wow.
He's Korean?
Yeah, he's Korean.
That's another stereotype that Korean
have
men
to change my
constantly
shirt.
get hit by cars. They just can't stop doing it.
They love it.
Oh man. So yeah, this is what's so fucked up. I mean, like in trying to recap this movie, it's so hard because there's really no plot.
No,
It's just like it introduces a bunch of people, and then just like some shit happens to them, but like nothing is really resolved
Yeah,
in
and
any
the
way.
weird thing is that this is a movie that's generally bunched into that weird subgenre that emerged around this time, at the turn of the millennium of divergent plots of people coming together. But they really don't. It's basically like Matt Dillon does the molestation, and then later on he saves Thandie Newton from a car crash. Oh, see, racists can save lives too. But like the guy thinks that Michael Pena fucked up his door, then tries to kill him. It's like it's like two scenes basically. They set up a relationship and then they go back to it, and that's it. And then none of the other ones come together at all.
Like it's very derivative of sort of like these ensemble LA movies like Robert Altman's Shortcuts or Magnolia or something like that. And even it has that hokey thing at the end where it snows on Christmas in LA.
Yeah.
Which is like a definite ripoff of the earthquake at the end of Shortcuts and the frogs in Magnolia.
And let's
Was
not
that
forget
snow?
the greatest, hold on a minute, the greatest ensemble LA film ever made, Volcano.
Yeah.
Which also ends with a giant snowstorm of ash, and then the Volcano is better than Crash in a million ways, and one of them is it's a better movie about racism.
It's
because
true.
There's a subplot in Volcano about this racist cop and this gangbanger who he's trying to arrest right when the volcano goes off, and then they have to like let him go so they can all fight the volcano together. And at the end of the movie, when the volcano's been stopped and there's a huge plume of this ash in the air, and it's landing on everyone. This little kid who's in Tommy Lee Jones's arms because he just saved his life looks around because everybody's covered in the ash and he goes, "They're the same. Everyone looks the same."
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's a better statement about racism.
I mean, that's like people got mad at me at the office when I was like, we should all put on blackface to show that we're all the same, but like it's the same thing. I have a work that this movie reminded me of though, that isn't Volcano or anything else or any of these classic LA movies. You know what it reminded me of? Dragon Ball Z. And you know why it reminded me of Dragon Ball Z? Because in Dragon Ball Z, there would be 500 episodes in a row where guys are just balling their fists and getting really mad before they have one episode where they fight each other. And that was like this movie for racism. Everyone is just like, they're stewing around getting mad. They're like working themselves to get racist for like about, I'd say 90% of the movie. And then it culminates in these little vignettes where they act racist to each other. But it's all very anticlimactic, like Dragon Ball Z. This is the Dragon Ball Z of racism.
To me, it felt more like Seinfeld, but like it felt like if Matt Stone and Trey Parker guest wrote an episode of Seinfeld, and it was very heavy and Kramer, but it was racist Kramer, like his famous N-word bit from his stand-up.
Racist Kramer is every character.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was trying to think how to recap this movie, and I'm trying to think about the structure of it, and it's very odd. And like I said, the first half of the movie, I was ticking off my list of all the sort of racial stereotypes that they introduce, and then at this kind of turning point, they turn it around and they're gonna like show you how it's different. I think the real message of the movie is that like stereotypes are true, but just not in the way that you think they are. You know, and the turning point of the movie is, as Matt said, the scene where Matt Dillon saves Teddy Newton from a burning car. And let's talk about that scene, actually.
A lot going on.
It's really fucked up. They shoot that scene. Like, okay, the car is flipped over. There's gas everywhere. It's gonna ignite at any moment. Matt Dillon is the first officer on scene. He's like, trying to crawl in the window of the SUV going, ma'am, can you hear me? Are you okay? Ma'am, we have to get you out of the car. And then like he's basically like on top of her, and she realizes it's the guy who not 24 hours ago like felt her ass and minge in front of her husband, and she starts screaming. She's like, "No, don't touch me! Get away from me! Get away from me! No!" And then like Matt Dillon is just like, "Lady, stop freaking out! You're being crazy right now. You're gonna die."
Yeah, she's on the freaking rag.
Paul Haggis, he shoots this scene. And like when Thady Newton finally sort of submits in a way, he shoots the scene like they're having sex. It's in a close-up of both of their faces, and you see her face on top of his, and they're sort of like that awkward moment when you're trying to like stay in, you know? And it's like this huge buildup and then release of like the mushroom cloud of gasoline flames and the car finally
and the
goes
slow
up.
motion as he leads her out of the car and the swelling opera music.
There's opera music in the background. The whole scene is very orgasmic.
What the point of that is, basically it's like every one of those right-wing Facebook memes where it's like, oh, you don't like the cops? Well, good luck when your car gets stolen or something. It's like, oh, you think cops shouldn't be racist and sexual assault you? Well, then who's going to pull you out of that burning car?
Sorry, Black Lives Matter. Getting mad because the cop molested your wife? Well, what are you going to do when you need him?
This is like when Bill Clinton was like, you know where Black Lives Matter? Africa. Yeah. It was like the rapist cop is like, you know where Black Lives Matter? Not when I'm sexually assaulting them, but when they're about to be exploded. That's when it counts.
The great thing about that scene is that the only thing the guy does is like unbuckle her seatbelt. Like he could have. Anyone should have just unbuckled.
Anyone could have done it. It was like
even like bitch ass liberal ass Ryan Philippe could have done that.
But I think that was implied. It was like he's the only one with the courage to go into the car and unbuckle the seatbelt because he's racist. Like racism has given him courage.
No, Ryan Philippe. The movie strongly implies that Ryan Philippe's character would not have been a good enough cop to save that woman's life because of his non-racism.
Yeah, he's not. He's like Ryan Philippe is like, what? Wait, were you saying that black people can't survive a gasoline explosion? She's fine. This is the bigotry, soft bigotry of low expectations. Okay. And then Matt Dillon is like, no, they can't. They're too weak.
Yeah, he's speaking over a woman of color. All throughout that scene, though, I was just laughing because I was reimagining it as if, like, he goes in the car, and then he just does it again. He just starts feeling her up again. and they both blow up because he just can't stop. Maybe that's problematic. I apologize. I'll do
That's
better.
extremely problematic, Alex.
I know I said at the beginning that this had potential to be our most problematic show ever, but that wasn't a challenge.
Yeah, no, wow. Some guys just bring their A game every fucking time.
But this movie is problematic AF though. Just
Holy
like
shit.
okay, here's the thing. Think about like the way the way it's set up at the beginning of the movie, like who you think that your sympathies are gonna lie with versus where it ends up, and like it's just the opposite of the normal kind of like
that's good
liberal
art.
message movie.
That's
you know?
good art.
Yeah.
Challenges you.
Because let's talk about Ryan Philippe's character. He's set up as the good cop who is disgusted by seeing his partner sexually assault a woman and his just general violence and corruption, I'm assuming. By the end of the movie, he straight up kills Lorenz Tate for no reason. He racially profiles him and then kills him.
Yeah, that was like, you know, my favorite Facebook memes are the ones where it's like somebody with tattoos and it's like, people judge me because of my tattoos, but I actually I have adopted 20 kids with terminal cancer and I do Toys for Tots and I'm always donating money to bullying. That's like, this is the same thing because it's like people judge me because I'm a racist sexual predator, but I actually save Black lives. And you know what? The biggest hypocrites are the people who say they're not racist, but end up shooting black people to death for no reason. And you're like, holy shit, I never thought about that, dude. You're so right. I'm never going to judge somebody's racism by their own exterior racism
Do you remember
anymore.
what kicks off the altercation?
He's picked him up hitchhiking, right? Like he picked up Lorenz Tate hitchhiking.
He was looking for rough trade.
Yeah. And it has been said that Lorenz Tate has like a little Saint Christopher like figurine that he carries around with him, and he sees Ryan Philippe's one, and he like laughs, and Philippe for some insane reason thinks he's laughing at him.
Why are you laughing?
It's country music.
Oh right.
Lorenz Tate laughs at Ryan Philippe's country music.
It's like, fuck you, get out of my car, which is like, dude, why? I mean, Felipe's got some issues. I mean, the fact that he's 5'2", probably has something to do with why he's so touchy. So then he's like, get out of my car, and then he reaches into his pocket to get the St. Christopher thing, and he goes, do not put your hand on that car. He goes, you know what I'm taking in my car? You know what I'm taking in my hand? You know what's in my hand? And then boom, he shoots him.
Yeah. Just goes to show you, when you are cruising around the outskirts of LA, like looking to get deep dicked by a hitchhiker, like that's when your racism comes out.
I think this scene is sort of misinterpreted by a lot of people because I think that Lorenz Tate, that's how I hear it, I'm sorry. I think he deserves it for two reasons. One, he has, he's doing Catholic idolatry. Two, he enjoys...
The chop shop guy is like, fuck no, like I watch CSI, they're gonna find all the hair and all this shit, like they're gonna send me to jail because you guys like fucking killed a guy with his van. But then when they find out that there are like fucking 500 Cambodians in the back of the van, he's like, you know what? Having a car involved in a hit and run, a little too hot for me, but I will pay for these slaves. Like, it's totally fine for you to run a human trafficking operation out of my garage.
No, I mean, when I woke up this morning, I wasn't going to think I was going to be in human trafficking and modern day slavery, but, you know, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
This is another...
That's a very LinkedIn thing, by the way. That's like an article that he would post on LinkedIn. Like, the best way to get into the human trafficking industry? By accident. Like,
this is another example of the way the movie introduces a stereotype and then subverts it. Because, like, you probably think that white people buy and sell human beings, but actually it's Asians who do that now.
that's true.
Here's a scene that I wanted to talk about that I think is sort of the heart of this movie. The kind of that really distills the meaning of this movie, or like what the pure ideology of this film. And it's the scene that takes place between John Cheadle's character and William Fitchner, who has a cameo as like an assistant DA. Now, by way of background, like Don Cheadle and his partner are investigating a shooting where an off-duty police officer killed a black guy who was also an undercover police officer. And it looked like this is a dirty cop who just shot another black guy. But again, they're like, oh, what if we told you that the black guy was actually also corrupt and had like 300 grand in his trunk and may have been a good shooting.
Killed Biggie also.
That's true. So he has to talk to the ADA about how they're going to like spin this in a way. And the scene is shot in a very interesting way where it's like they're in this big conference room and there are these huge windows behind them that's just like pure white light coming through. And William Fichtner is sort of framed by this when he goes off on a monologue about basically how blah, 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 all the sociological reasons, blah, 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 blah. But you and I both know that black people are actually really shit. I mean, let's be honest. And he says this at length, and it's like, this is, I think, it's bathed in the white light of truth and reconciliation in this movie. And I don't know how else to interpret this scene, but...
Well, I think the argument would be, and I think I've seen people make this argument, is that what he's trying to do is confront the white audience with their own prejudice and be like, this is what you really think behind closed doors, which is undermined, like I said, partially by the fact that every character is just a prick, and their huge prickness probably has more to do with anything than racism. But it's just like, well, yeah, these people are saying that because that's what the audience secretly believes, and then they're going to leave the theater thinking, oh man, I really think that? That's fucked up, yo. Maybe I should reconsider. But the thing is that it may, even if that's true, and like there's a lot of things that push against that, like you say, like the sort of the beatific rendering of William Fichtner as he's laying that out,
and just the content of like just the characters themselves seem to confirm everything he's saying.
Right. I think that even if that were somehow, because there would have to be some sort of mechanism of triggering that like revulsion at the attitudes, and there really isn't. There's nothing in the film to make you go, oh, I shouldn't think that way, or oh, they're talking about me and that's bad. But beyond that, it's the typical liberal attitude of racism as like a personal affliction, and it's just really like an attitudinal thing that's based on like, your personal experience and things like that, as opposed to any kind of systemic issue. Like there is no kind of systems don't really come into this movie at all.
The moral of this movie is that if you're a deplorable racist, something will happen that will turn you into a hero. And if you're not racist, you will become racist and you will kill someone.
It's really true. It's that kind of thing that, like, all the fake woke Hollywood movies that try to be challenging always end up falling into the same spot of saying, well, it's everyone's fucked up. Everybody's fucked up. Which
both sides do it.
Both sides do it. All these movies that try to deal with race and that try to be anyway social commentary always end up doing this shruggy hand wave, because I think a lot of people in movies think that is deep. Like if you implicate everybody, you're somehow really deep, but really all you're doing is you're not doing anything. If it's everybody, if it's everything, then it's nothing. And what was the point? Like that movie Money Monster that came out earlier this year.
Didn't see it.
It's the shitty movie about like George Clooney is like sort of Jim Cramer, and he gets held hostage by this guy who lost all his money to the dang crooked stock market. And then you find out that, oh, this company was crooked. But then at the end, the implication is, yeah, we did all this crime because everyone wanted us to, because everyone else wanted to make money, because everybody is greedy. And it's like, oh shit. Like that's the kind of fake conscious shit that Hollywood movies always end up spitting out, because it is affirming to the ideology of the kind of soft, comfortable assholes who make these movies, because it is paralyzing. It reduces any kind of idea of activism or change, because, well, everybody does it. It's everybody's problem. It's just society, man.
Oh, you hate capitalism? Why do you have an iPhone?
Because you want to be rich too, so that means that you're just as guilty as Jamie Dimon.
I mean, I read or I saw Paul Haggis talk about this movie, and he was like, well, I was trying to sort of channel all of my, racial anxieties and fears into this movie. And I don't know. I mean, maybe he's being honest with himself, but I don't know how, I don't know how successful it turned out.
Well, it seems like, it's... I feel bad about these feelings.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to make a movie that makes me feel better about having these feelings because, black people are shitty. And,
that's what I mean. Like the racial anxiety of this movie, and it's a movie, for white people by white people, basically. The racial anxiety.
bias.
FUBU. The racial anxiety for this movie and the people who lauded it so much is that their racism may actually be justified in some way.
I have a bone to pick with the notion that white people can't make a good movie about racism because who invented racism?
Oh, yeah. It's true.
We're the experts.
We need some golden era racism. And that's sort of why we're having you on, Alex. Alex, you need to make the definitive movie about being racist to Irish people. You need to make Irish Crash.
If you made that, every shithead in the Northeast Corridor with like a fucking shamrock tattoo would see it 50 times like Schindler's List. You gotta see this movie, bro. Dope, bro. You gotta see this movie. You gotta know what we've been through.
I would love to make an even-handed movie about like the potato famine or something. Where it shows the people starving, and then it shows.
You don't hear Lord Trevelyan's point of view enough, I think.
Yeah, it shows the Englishmen, it shows the merchants, and how it's like they need to provide for their families too. And maybe if the Irish would plant more crops, maybe diversify their holdings a little bit, they wouldn't fall victim to these.
Maybe they should pull up their pants and stop killing their brain cells with ale that they age in the bog.
Yeah, maybe if they didn't turn all their grain into alcohol, they wouldn't have starved.
I don't know. I mean, are we missing anything else from this movie? I mean, like I said, it's hard to talk about because nothing really happens in it. None of these characters really have an arc, or nothing is really resolved. It's just
nothing is learned, nothing is resolved, nobody changes. It's all for the benefit of the audience. It's just expectations shifting, like you said, for the audience. It's like, you think this, well, haha, and that's it. And the characters are just pawns in this move.
Like Matt Dillon's character, after he saved Daisy Newton's life, goes away completely. No. He's never heard from her. He's seen maybe one time at the end of the movie in this awful montage. But my favorite character resolution is Sandra Bullock's character. Yeah. She's mean to everyone, and she falls down. She falls down the stairs and can't get up. And the only person there for her is her nanny, Pilar, I'm assuming is her name. But Sandra Bullock's big catharsis is when she hugs her
hugs the help
and says, what's funny, Pilar? You, a Mexican woman of low station, are actually my only real friend.
So that's basically Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Then it doesn't show the next day where the nanny spent all day caring for her, and then she's like, why the fuck didn't you get the dishes done?
Yeah. That said, racism is over. Racism, umpire doing the safe sign, is over after Crash.
Wait, I mean, here's what I want to ask. Okay, we mentioned this movie came out in 2004. In my opinion, at the height of the savagery of the George W. Bush administration. What do you think this movie says about the early aughts in America and what I regard as the golden age of George W. Bush?
Oh, boy.
This was kind of like the Casablanca of the Bush year. The
Bush era for Hollywood was really this, it was like a long crack up, sort of a nervous breakdown among Hollywood liberals about how they were going to be relevant. Because, they were all horrified by what Bush was doing, in the abstract, of course. It didn't actually affect them. But they all felt like they had to do something. But they were all constrained by both their station in life and their sort of, very narrow cultural window, and the fact that most of them are pretty dumb, and they have basically, non-existent milquetoast politics. And so, but they had to, so you had shit like Lambs for Lions, that Robert Redford movie.
Oh, right.
Where it's just Tom Cruise, trying to convince Meryl Streep that Iraq was a good idea.
Oh, and then Paul Haggis actor-crested in the Valley of Ella.
Yeah. All these anguish movies where the whole point is wow, war, people think it's good, but actually it's really bad, and people are hurt in it. But it's, of course, always through the lens of the troops, right?
Yeah. And that was like, if the only movies, by the way, that they made in the 90s, besides Liar Liar, were movies where either a white person and a black person would do some sort of Freaky Friday thing and switch places.
That was Glory.
Wow. Or movies where there is a bizarrely placed scene that has never happened in history, where a white character will apologize to a black character just for general racism existing. And if that was the 90s, that was sort of our insanity of the 90s, then the 2000s was a lot of movies about troops who become jaded and go, why am I fighting?
There was Stop Loss with Ryan Philippe and Channing Tatum. Green Zone. Here's what's interesting to me is, like, I feel like there was a delayed fuse, because after 9/11, we really didn't get the big glut of insanely jingoistic war propaganda, because there was all these...
Because the libs were ambiguous about it, and they didn't want to make that, so it was all sublimated, and like action movies dealt with it, but all through a different lens. Like, say for example, War of the Worlds, which is about 9/11, but allegorically.
Or Jason Bourne was the big action franchise, but he was sort of a woke action.
It was exactly because there was this Hollywood abhorrence at Bush, but through this really milquetoast liberal prism that has no real point of view.
Liberals didn't come out against the war until Billy Crystal, during the Jazzman performance, said, "Mr. Bush, why don't you stop that war for one day? Come roll Bill Nolan."
I would say that almost every movie that Hollywood put out that touched on American foreign policy after 9/11 can be symbolized by the form of Susan Sarandon at the 2003 Oscars, right when we were bombing Iraq at the beginning of the war, coming out to announce one of the awards and doing the peace sign at hip level. I don't know if you guys remember. Yeah. She came out and she went peace, and then that was it. Those were those movies. Just sort of these gentle flailings, because, I want to say the war is bad, but I don't want them to think I don't love the troops. I'll make it about the troops. And so we fetishize the troops. That ends up with making fucking American Sniper. Once you create these parameters, you're kind of stuck with them. The only good one, and people can argue with this, and I'll argue with them, the only good war movie from the Bush years that really dealt with the implications of 9/11 and its aftermath is Syriana.
Reign Over Me.
Look, Syriana is a fucking great movie.
Yes, thank you.
I actually thought you were going to say a different one. The movie that really did deal with this issues, a little movie called Loose Change.
I don't know. I do have to say, I feel like I don't like his movies, but when I see him interviewed, I find myself sort of liking Paul Haggis. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's because he was honest about being brainwashed by Scientology.
Yeah, I do kind of like that.
But see here, I'm kind of a dick, I guess, because for me, if you were dumb enough to get brainwashed for Scientology for 30 years, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's nice that you realize that, but why the hell did it take you that long? But don't you show up for the first day and oh, okay, yeah. Give a fake name and they get the fuck out of there. I'm sorry.
No, they don't tell you the really insane shit until you're $100 grand deep.
Strap you in a fucking e-meter and we're gonna audit your emotions.
That's
and stuff.
His problem was that he hadn't seen the South Park episode.
Isn't that what we love about? This is what I love about my actors and my movie people. I want them to be stupid as fuck. I love it when Jared Leto gets up there and he's like, yo, everybody, let's put it together for everybody in Ukrainia and Arab right now. I love it when
Fernando Valenzuelans everywhere.
I love it when Adrian Grenier is like, how come we go through more straws than cancer treatments for kids in a day? I love that shit. And I love that Paul Haggis was probably a Scientologist until Bill Maher was like, new rule. If your religion has a copyright, it's not a religion. That's what snapped him out of it.
I got one question for you guys, though. How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
Jaden Smith is, I want all of them, they all are as stupid as Jaden Smith.
Yes.
Really, most actors are.
Yes.
It's only Jaden Smith and Mark Ruffalo and Jared Leto are brave enough to just be stupid as fuck, courageously stupid.
Let's not forget James Woods.
Yeah.
No, but he's
the flip dark side. Yeah, they're all just thundering idiots with different inflections.
Oh my God,
and political
why-
attitudes.
Why didn't James Woods get a cameo in this movie as a racist guy?
I'm gonna stay here, Harvey.
What?
Please.
Perfect. Fuck. Okay, stay here and get butt fucked by 12 Neanderthals, bitch.
It's funny is that he was in White House Down.
Playing himself.
Yeah. And like that whole movie is like a Unite Blue fantasy of Obama.
I've said before, White House Down is MSNBC, the motion
It
picture.
is.
Yeah.
And there's a scene at the end after they've defeated this like neocon insurgency to assassinate him and have him take over.
Basically, Gamergate attacks the White House.
Yeah, and the defense industry, which is like every like lazy Hollywood liberal who doesn't really understand. Oh, the defense, the military. I saw that one like clip from Eisenhower, so I have a analysis of American political economy.
He was one of the good ones.
Yeah.
But like they're on the helicopter, and Maggie Gyllenhaal says, "All the countries are behind your peace plan, Mr. President." It's like, oh yay!
And that's how it works.
That's how it works. All the countries.
The president's friend is like, everyone likes
Russia,
buddy.
China, Israel.
I like
They did a straw poll.
Yeah.
I like how at the end of the movie, the Obama stand-in dyes his hair purple and pretends to make video games.
But like, why was James Woods like read that script? He had to know. Unless he thought he was the hero, I guess.
No, I think it's like James Wood he doesn't know that he's in movies anymore, and like he actually did have a cameo. He had a cameo in Crash, and it was just 5 minutes of him saying the N-word, and they're like, "James, that was great. You really went to a dark place for that." And he was like, "When do we start filming?"
Yeah, I think the way to explain his performance in White House Down is that it was like Bowfinger, where they filmed him without his knowledge and added him into the movie afterwards.
I think there's something we need to talk about with Crash that no one brought up. It's that in the scene where the Persian guy, he gets mad, he thinks that the Mexican locksmith guy gave a tip to his gang to go rob his store, and then he takes a gun, he goes to the guy's house, he tries to shoot the guy's kid, and then because the racist gun shop owner gave the woman blanks to own her, he doesn't actually kill the kid. And of course, no one calls the cops on him. That he just wanted to kill a kid. But it's the moral of that is that the gun shop owner being racist is what kept the Muslim guy from killing a little girl. That's the anti-racist message there.
That's checks and balances. I mean, the only way to stop a racist with a gun is a racist with a gun shop.
I have to say that fucking shop owner guy, I watched the movie, obviously, from the remove of irony, trying to see what was stupid about it and make fun of. But when he's talking to Michael Pena and Michael Pena's trying to explain to him that he can fix the lock, but the door is broken and he won't have a secure thing until someone fixes the door.
No, my friend, you cheat me.
And it's I wanted to murder him. I was actually, I was invested in the character at that moment. I wanted to reach to the screen and kill him. And then, he tries to murder a child, and then he just walks off. Yeah. I would have loved this movie if he got hit by a fucking bus.
Yeah, if the bus that Ludacris was on.
Yeah.
Yes.
The tile that guy, the only reason he, cried after he failed to kill the child is because that was the only time from his years of being in Savak that he failed to kill a kid. He's I never miss. What the fuck?
Other footnote to the Persian shopkeeper. His wife is played by Martina Sirtis, a.k.a. Counselor Troy from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Am I the only guy online who doesn't know anything about Star Trek?
Yes.
I don't know about it either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Alex.
Sorry,
I've had
I'm
sex.
the only one. Yeah.
Me
Nerd
too.
alert!
George, don't forget about George Takei,
Yeah, he's
the inventor of Grumpy Cat and the Willy Wonka meme.
He invented the epic bacon liberal caucus that I'm a part of. So, guys, do you think that we did it? We solved racism?
Once again, if people have forgotten this movie.
We did something with racism.
Yeah, we did something racism related.
People forgot this movie, and that's why racism is coming back. And we, by reminding them about it, are banishing it again.
I didn't really see any sort of a message in this movie.
No.
When I just like watching it because people are racist in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's funny.
Racism, it's really a good vicarious thrill. If you're too scared to do racism in your real life, if you're afraid of racist praxis, just watch this and sort of get the thrill that way.
The first 2/3 of American History X, and then you turn it off. That's also a good one.
Yeah.
This is, if I had to describe this movie, I would call it intersectional racism. This is about the intersections of racism.
All racism's coming together in a beautiful rainbow coalition of racism.
And it's called the City of Los Angeles, folks.
This movie is, with the 2004 Oscars will go down as having both the worst Oscar ever awarded, Crash Best Picture,
Probably.
but also the best Oscar ever awarded, 3 6 Mafia's Hard Out There for a Pimp, that song.
Which beat out the incredibly bad song from this movie called "In the Deep" or something. This awful caterwauling.
Any of you young millennials who didn't watch this Oscars at the time because you were too busy like trying to figure out how your dick worked or something?
Still haven't figured
If
it
it's
out.
on YouTube,
That is the year where I figured out how to pound off. Just saying. 2004.
You go to YouTube, I'm sure it's on there. Because that year what they did is they had every song have an interpretive dance go along with it. And this song is so dirge-like and slow that you couldn't really dance to it. So what they had instead was they had a bunch of people in like gangbanger outfits. I remember this distinctly, like Chola outfits.
This is the Crash song. Yeah.
Doing like slow motion moves with a car on fire in the distance, like with the flames made of paper and something like that. And it's one of the worst musical performances in Oscar history, and everyone should see it.
Do you guys remember when 3 6 Mafia won the Academy Award for Best Song, and Jon Stewart, like, he thought it was the funniest thing ever?
Yes.
He was like, Academy Award winners, 3 6 Mafia? Yeah, you guys noticed that they're black?
If anybody wants to go back, any like scholars of the Bush era, and say, how the hell did we let this happen? Just remind yourselves that in 2004, his re-election year, the Oscars were hosted by Jon Stewart.
Hell
The
yeah.
Best Picture went to Crash. That's why we let that shit happen.
I was also 14 when I saw Fahrenheit 9/11 with my mom. I think she like let me like take off of school to watch Fahrenheit 9/11 with her, and I was walking out with her, and I was like, "That did it. Like, goodbye, Mr. Bush." Like, you
I had that
are
exact same
finished,
feeling.
buddy.
Like
He can't come back from this.
I was in a theater in like suburban Milwaukee, very full, and at the very end of it, people clapped, like the audience actually applauded, and I'm like, "That's it, showtime. Show's over, buddy. Pack your shit."
Man, that's another movie that I imagine does not hold up well.
No.
I haven't seen it in a while, but from what I remember, it does not. Like, for just as one example that comes to mind, Michael Moore wants to sort of talk about the restraint of civil liberties after 9/11, and he does it by talking to some like granola dickhead who like got questioned at his gym or something because he put something online, and that was it. As opposed to, indefinite detention and
Right.
on moped
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's like some dickhead with a fucking ponytail and a recumbent bike got mildly questioned by an FBI agent.
I mean, that was like, I still, like, the end of that movie is when he did the best part, when it was like the kids in Flint playing basketball with a fucking milk crate, and then they're swearing into the Marines, and it's Keep on Rocking in the Free World. Like, that was Michael Moore doing the best, like, emotional manipulation shit he does, but everything else, it was like, George Bush kept us safe in the Texas Air National Guard, while John Kerry was protecting our freedom in Vietnam. Thank you.
It
Okay.
was a very, 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 very dumb time.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to have a professorship devoted to teaching it to.
Yeah, me. I will be Matt's. Matt is going to be the head of the Bush Studies Department at King Fahd University in Riyadh.
Oh my God, this reminds me. Someone DM'd me the other day asking if we have transcripts of our show available because he wants to teach it in his college course. He wants to have us talking about movies and show students how to like properly analyze and discuss
Ooh.
film. And I told him no.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you can't listen, like, if you have a hearing impairment, like, fuck you. This is not how we intended our art to be enjoyed. But I think we covered all our bases. guys?
We more than covered it. That's Crash, folks.
Oh yeah, one last thing. From my friend, you know who you are, who had a bad day today. Everything's looking up. I hope you have a good one.
Wait, hold on. One last thing. Live September 24th at Genius headquarters. Chapo, Digcast.
Tickets available.
Live.
Get them.
Tickets available now. They're going like hotcakes, folks. Bye, bye, bye.